I'm so happy that this is my first video. I get to slander Tobias for my first video. Now, we all know after the Sixers game one loss to the New York Knicks that the Sixers were going to have to do some shaking up of the lineup. They're going to have to implement some new rotations. They're going to have to add players into the rotation that are going to give you that level of toughness that you need to play against the New York Knicks. Because we all know that that's the New York Knicks basketball identity, right? They're not here. They're not going to beat you with talent. They do have talented players over there, but that's not how they're going to beat you. They're going to beat you with grit. They're going to out-rebound you. They're going to grind the game up. They're going to muck it up. They're just going to make it tough in all aspects, right? And they're just going to do the little things on the margins to beat you, right? And that's just what they do. So we knew that the Sixers were going to have to implement some new lineup changes just in order to keep up with the New York Knicks and hopefully their talent and eventually ends up just being better than the Knicks, right? So who do we look towards, right? The first player that we always look towards, Tobias Harris. He gets asked today his thoughts on implementing Tobias Harris into the offense. I want to find the exact quote for you guys because it was hilarious to me. He was asked about Tobias Harris needing to be, Nick Nurse was asked about Tobias Harris needing to be more involved. And here's what Nick Nurse had to say.
It's only took 7 shots last night. I guess, like, how do you kind of maybe get him involved a little bit more on the offensive end of the floor?
Just gonna matter who I don't like. He needs to get involved. Nico needs to get involved. Kelly needs to get involved. Like there's a lot more. Buddy needs to get involved. Like there's a lot more people who need to get involved.
Yep. This is something that I was waiting for something like this to where it's just a damning quote for Tobias Harris, right? Because you really can't come back for this. It's Nick Nurse basically saying, there's nothing more I can do for him. He is just not good at this point. He is either mentally not there, he doesn't want to be a Sixer anymore, or he is just afraid of the Knicks. I don't know which one it is. Maybe it's another Tobias Harris playoff mental collapse. I don't know. But it's basically Nick Nurse saying that he's either going to have to bench Tobias or he can't do anything for him at this point. And the only reason that he's playing is because of politics and Daryl Morey, right? So that's why I said this is pretty damning, right? Because Nick Nurse has never gone to this extent to basically single Tobias out and say I can't do anything for him. Like a bunch of other players have to get involved. I can't single out Tobias and be like, okay, well, this is what we need to do for you. This is I can't do that anymore. This is just not what we can do. They can't continue to waste possessions on Tobias Harris, right? Usually when we're watching the Sixers game, they try to get Tobias into a rhythm. It's literally every game. It's like they waste possessions trying to get him involved in a game or get him into a rhythm, and it just never works. And honestly, when it does work or when he does score, it always looks like an accident. I'm just so tired of watching it because you can tell he's just mentally not there with the Sixers and ready to compete with them on the level that they need to reach to play the Knicks. And I've seen a lot of people saying the Sixers are going to need Tobias if they do want to win a championship. That may be right. But honestly, with the way he's playing, I don't see why you can have him in the lineup. Like he did good on the boards last night. What did he have? He had 9 rebounds yesterday versus the Knicks, but he only had 7 points. Shot 3 for 7 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, which is 25%. No free throws, didn't get fouled, 2 turnovers, 4 fouls. It's like he is not doing enough that warrants him to stay on the floor, especially when you need energy. When you have energy guys on the like Ricky Council, KJ Martin, I know it's going to have the Knicks. They're going to be able to shrink the floor because they're not going to be able to help off Ricky Council. They're going to be able to help off Ricky Council and KJ Martin a lot more than they are Tobias. But that's just some energy guys you can get in there for rebounding. You know they're going to fight over screens when it comes to defense. Like you know they're going to be able to dribble drive, right? You know they're going to be able to put pressure on the rim. You know we know Ricky Council is going to be reluctantly shoot that three-pointer, right? And like a Tobias will shoot it, but it's not even getting close. And honestly, another problem with Tobias is that he can't do 2 things at once. He can't string together a full, complete good game to save his life. Even last night at the beginning of the game where he hits the open three in the corner and you're like, okay, we might have a good Tobias game, right? Immediately, the very next possession, the Sixers get a rebound, or there was either a rebound or steal, and the Knicks kind of press up, but it's one of those fake press was like, all right, I'm just going to show myself, and I got to run back on defense. They like fake press up, and Tobias panics and throws like a full court pass down the sideline, and it gets easily stolen by Jalen Brunson. And it's like, what are you doing? Just calm down. Like, it's like his mind moves too fast for what his body can do. And it's honestly annoying because to me, when I'm watching somebody play basketball, you can usually tell who's giving effort, right? And who's really thinking the game and who's really out there trying to help their team win. It looks like Tobias is just going through the motions. And he even had, I'm not even gonna lie, he had like some good spots last night, even in that fourth quarter. I think it was either the third or the fourth quarter where he drives the lane, hits the little floater, and it kind of keeps the Sixers in the game. But it's like his buckets never actually matter when he does score. And I'm sorry, but for a team that got out there, a team that got outscored 42-7, or the bench that got outscored 42-7, like, so we needed other points, honestly, because in the starting lineup, it shouldn't have been Joel Embiid with 29 points, Maxey with 33 points, Kyle Lowry with 18 points. Kyle Lowry should never be our third leading scorer unless it's an outlier game, right? Tobias should always be that third scorer on the Sixers, but he can never rise to the occasion, and it's just continuous. This season, it's been regular season, right? He just wasn't showing up at all. But now, postseason, where we know we have a history and we know Tobias is not going to show up. He showed it last night versus the Knicks. 7 points in a game where we needed another spark. Yes, Kyle Lowry gave that to us after the Joel Embiid injury. But like somebody else, like they got destroyed in the non-Joel Embiid minutes, and Tobias was out there with Maxey most of the time. So, and you saw Maxey struggling until towards the middle of the third quarter. He was struggling up until then. You would expect the veteran on the team, the guy getting paid $180 million, to at least help him out, take some pressure off of Tyrese Maxey, maybe get into some deep post position, maybe get a couple of rebounds just to secure the Sixers' second possessions, maybe knock down a couple of threes, get the offense going. He just couldn't do that. It's like the Sixers were forced to do Maxey or die. And it's because of the effort that Tobias Harris is giving you out there right now. And it's honestly annoying to watch. I'm so happy that this is his last season in the Sixers uniform. But this isn't even, I try to not do the whole like blame Tobias for everything, because Tobias is he's one of the furthest reasons from why the Sixers lost yesterday, right? I'm not going to blame the game on him. He's going to absolutely have some blame because of the contract that he gets, because of the player he is supposed to be for the Sixers, because of the big spot that we needed him in. Yes, he's going to catch some of the blame, but he's far from the biggest reason the Sixers lost last night. The biggest reasons are obviously go on rebounding, goes on the Sixers' toughness level, goes on the Sixers' offense in that last 4 minutes. Like, it's a lot of things that are included with why the Sixers lost game one. But it looks like the way Nick Nurse talked in that video, it looks like he might think about changing the starting lineup from Tobias and maybe adding Nick Batum in there, bringing Tobias off the bench. We've already seen that he has benched Tobias in those closing lineups the last few games. He benched Tobias versus Miami, and he benched him in game one. So Tobias already out of the closing lineup. If he does continue to be, if he does get a chance to be in the closing lineup, I do think that it'll be like a short leash. How is he responding? How is he moving? How is he playing? If it's anything bad, Nick Nurse will immediately yank him. But moving forward, honestly, I've been thinking that it's all politics anyway. But moving forward, I think Nick Nurse will bench Tobias Harris at some point in this series if he continues to play like this. But we will see. Thank you, everybody, for watching my first video. If you do want to go follow me on Twitter and Instagram, my Twitter is _YoCliff. So _YoCliff. My Instagram is _Cliff Notes with a Z at the end. Go follow. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Supports us, supports me. And it's great, man. I will see you guys in another video. Appreciate y'all.